15 love.
Good body serve from Federer.
40 love.
It's only been 3 points, but the signs are pretty sharp from the 17-time Grand Slam champion.
Well, the interesting strategy already there from Federer, serving and volleying on a second serve. But I think at a good time, 40 love. But that's the difficulty against Nadal. He has so much spin on his ground strokes that it's tough to volley because it's dropping so fast. He gets angles.
Once again, jamming Nadal up. He's already been called for time violations throughout these championships.
Interestingly, Federer looking to come over the backhand return. Already in this match, he's made it clear that's what he intends to do, as opposed to just chipping the return, which he's done almost exclusively in the past.
Nadal.
4 first serves, 4 points in the bag. First game on the board.
One game on.
And that's the shot that Federer is going to need to hit well. Yes, the backhand, but in particular the backhand cross-court to the Nadal forehand. That's the way that Djokovic has had success against Nadal. But of course, it's easier for a two-handed player to do that against a lefty than a one-handed player.
There's probably 30 or 40 vacant seats up behind Roger Federer with people who haven't made their way into the stadium yet. You'd have to hope that what they're having for dinner would need to be very good to miss 3 games of these two going at it.
30-15.
Even from where he was, Nadal is able to generate such
30 on
pace. And that's what did Federer there.
And that'll knock his confidence a little, Federer, because he's given us a good rip. And you can see there, as you mentioned, the power back from Nadal, just beating Federer. But whatever he does, he has to keep the baseline position, Federer. Certainly the wide serve here, this is what he's looking for. Now he needs to take time away from Nadal, so he moves forward onto the ball before Nadal has time to recover from that wide serve.
Pretty much a stress-free opening from both players. We're on serve early in the semi-final. Federer leads 2-1.
Well, the ability to get on top of that point came from the return. Again, Federer hits the aggressive return, and that allowed him to at least neutralise the point. Over the past, he's just, again, I reiterate, chipped the return back, and that's allowed Nadal to get into position to set up for the big forehand. And that looks as if that's going to be a different strategy, certainly for Federer, and I believe absolutely the correct one.
Early trouble for the #1 seed. Federer being very proactive.
Interesting return. I'm not sure that he meant it, but if he did, it was a good strategy. He'd hit over the previous return of serve at the backhand with depth. At that time, he came under it and hit it short. Got Nadal out of his comfort zone. Couldn't fault the move of Federer here, but as ever, Nadal is so deadly on the passing shots when he has any time whatsoever, so you have to be so mindful of how and when you come to the net.
Well, it looks like he's not going to die wondering tonight, Jeff. He is so proactive in the early stages of this match, Federer, and when you think about it, that's what he's got to beat tonight. Otherwise, he won't beat Nadal, even though he's got that injury problem. But there's a clear game plan, and it's attack. Yet again wanting to come in.
Yeah, and again, I really like the return of Federer. That return is what gave him an opportunity to take the initiative. Seems like every time on the first court, he's going to hit hard over the ball to the Nadal backhand. It's already borne some fruit, but not enough perhaps to get the break.
First time Nadal hasn't got a first serve into play. Oh. 140 and came back with a bit of interest.
Deuce.
Very difficult to get around a left-hander's serve. You can see how far out of court Federer is here, so he's got to hit a winner because there's no recovering from there.
Advantage Nadal.
Average first serve speed, again, in the early stages, a little bit down on what we normally expect from Nadal. 177, cooler conditions tonight, so that may have something to do with it.
Nadal.
That's a good hold from Rafael Nadal. Down love 30, grits his teeth and does what the great players do.
Yeah, he's just so tough, Nadal. Drive volley there. He's always so desperate to hold serve, and he hasn't got anywhere near the biggest serve on tour, far from it. But he's the second best on tour in saving break points. It's quite remarkable given that it's not a really big serve. Best on tour is John Isner, which wouldn't surprise anybody. 6'9" and so tall with a big serve. Nadal saved 69% of all points or all break points in a match over a year. Quite remarkable. And one of the other keys, of course, for Federer tonight, apart from having to serve exceptionally well, is to not overdo the rushing to the net and never to let Nadal get grooved. So he's going to need to go to the forehand quite often, keep him off balance.
40 love.
Serve and volley sometimes. Keep the points short wherever possible.
Again,
139 km/h serve from Roger that time. He comes up with the love game.
Oh. 15 love.
I guess, Jeff, the other thing that they would have addressed, Edberg and Federer together, after the Murray match the other night, was how aggressive he will be when he gets opportunities, because he certainly was very un-Roger-like a few times the other night. Almost seemed to go back into his shell when he had a chance to attack.
Yes, you're quite right, and that statistic was borne out by the lack of conversions of the break points that Federer had. He had many, many break point opportunities, and that was the time that he probably got more defensive than he should have. Anyhow, that match has been and gone, and we're loving the first 5.5 games here.
Love.
Rafael's uncle and coach Tony there, who's been such an influence, such a positive influence on him. There's a look at the grip. You can see how the hand's over the handle of the racket. Bjorn Borg used to do that as well, going back in another era to help his serve get extra reach and a little bit more snap.
Nadal completely untroubled on serve so far. He's dropped just the 2 points on his first serve, 1 point on his second serve. 3 games all. Good to see that Uncle Tony doesn't seem to be bothered by the presence of the camera at courtside. None of the towels or caps over the lens for Uncle Tony.
I'm not sure that the sponsors of the players and their entourage will be that impressed with the cameras being blocked, because the entourage is normally where the sponsors' gear as well.
Love 15.
This is where it starts getting serious after a bit of the feeling out process. When we get to the 7th game, new balls will come in the next game, and you often see it goes up a notch from here.
From Nadal's point of view, he's going to need to keep his length. If he falls a little bit short, that is around the service line, that's when Federer is going to look to attack and put Nadal under pressure. Oh, it's too good. It's always the danger when you serve wide to somebody and serve and volley. You're better off waiting for the return
15-30.
and then come in on the next one. He's very wide, but look at the angles he's got here. He's got a lot of room down the line or sharp angle cross court. Oh, that's brilliant. Just brilliant.
And now he's got a problem. Look at that. That camera gave you a great indication of how much margin for error Rafa had, and the answer was practically none. 2 break points for the #1 seed.
Well, his eyes lit up there, Nadal, when Federer came in, because the approach from Federer wasn't middled. Look at the look on Nadal's face there. It wasn't middled. He had a lot of time, Nadal, to pick his spot. Almost had too much time, almost as if he couldn't decide where he was going to hit the pass, and in the end, it went nowhere.
Second opportunity for the first break. That's something that Roger did. He was very demonstrative verbally against Andy Murray 2 nights ago. And the cry of "come on" has gone up a couple of times already this evening.
Advantage Federer.
Nadal then coming up with a very strong hold in the 4th game of this set when he was down love 30. This would be even better for Roger, having been down 2 break points.
Use.
Again, Federer running around the backhand so far out of court.
Advantage Federer.
Once again, not flat out, but perfectly placed, 169 kilometres an hour. Wild one from Rafa.
Again, Federer, new balls, please. $15 love. 30 love.
Excellent first serve percentage from Rafael Nadal so far. 78%. He's only missed 4 times getting the first serve into play.
Oh. 30-15.
Just a quick glance up at Stefan Edberg and Merker in his support box just to get their take on the call. This is what Hawkeye thought. And the call was a correct one. Oh, that's magnificent defence from Nadal. It was Federer who was calling the tune in that rally, and somehow the Spaniard has managed to defend it all the way to taking the point in the game.
Yeah, fabulous stuff, and it's this next forehand here from Nadal at end range. That means at full stretch and extension, he's still got the forearm strength to be able to get some racket head speed on the ball. Where others would have been defending, he was able to go on the offense. Extraordinary.
There's a lot of numbers next to the yellow star, and we know what that indicates. That is Roland Garros right there. Unmistakable.
That's second serve. It's in love.
He doesn't do that a lot. So far in these championships, Federer has had 7 double faults. 5 of them came in his first round match against James Duckworth. So in the next 4 rounds, he had 2 combined.
Keeping much better length here, Nadal. Federer looking to attack but can't. He's pushed back behind the baseline here, wants to give it a rip, but he's just too deep in the court.
$191. That was sizzling. His quick one has been at 203 tonight. We've talked about it so many times here at the Australian Open. The number of times he comes up with serves between 203 and 207 is quite remarkable.
And there's that very high, heavily spun top swing forehand, getting up high on the one-handed backhand of Federer, and he doesn't like it at all. It's always been the go-to play for Nadal, is the shake of the head. It's like deja vu, he's thinking to himself.
And it is, to the extent that it's break point once more. Good stuff from Federer. The best form of defence is attack, judging by what we've seen from him tonight. So that's 3 break points now that he's been managed to see off.
You can see that last forehand of Nadal's landed on the service line, and the second one not too much better, whereas early in the rally he kept good depth, so Federer needing to be patient, waiting for the right ball.
Advantage Federer.
There is the great champion, the winner of 14 Grand Slam titles. So should Rafa go all the way here on Sunday night, he will equal Pete Sampras's Grand Slam winning record. Nadal is going to be frustrated.
That's the one he's been close to making, and the one he really is determined to make. Get that first point with a good, aggressive return off the backhand. Why I make it such a point of the first point? Because this is the least effective side, or the less effective side, for Nadal as a lefty to serve. The second court, he just can drag a player so far out of court.
Unforced error count starting to grow for Nadal. He's up to 10. Federer's outpaced him in that regard. He's 14. Sometimes it's when you make them as much as how many.
40-30.
They're the sort of shots you miss. This one from Federer, when you've had a year like he had, 2013, your confidence is a bit down. That ball was there to be made. It was a big point. Both players knew it. That was to give Federer a set point. When you're confident and flowing, you make those.
There's that swinging serve that Jeff Masters was talking about to the ad court. Federer shakes his head, not worried about throwing in the challenge. So he was close, Federer, at 30 all, but no cigar. Right on the line with Nadal's serve to come up with his first ace of the match. And the deadlock continues.
Nadal is challenging the call on the right baseline. The ball was cut out. Nadal has 2 challenges remaining.
Serve and volley again, pays dividends. He's tried it 3 times.
30.
In fact, that is the first success that he's had with the serve and volley.
But it's just sowing the seed of doubt, Peter, that he'll take those couple of losses and he'll win other points because Nadal is not sure where or how to return. In fact, we've had 11 unforced errors from Nadal in this match, which is a very high number from him because he knows what Federer's trying to do. He knows Federer's trying to attack. Therefore, Nadal is trying to keep the ball deeper in the rally mode and making more errors than he wants. Whoa.
40-15.
A combined total of 14 winners between the players, a combined total of 27 unforced errors. A very comfortable service game for Federer compared to his previous 2. He's the first to 6. It ends with a whimper rather than a bang, but what a rally. 33 shots. Clearly the longest of the match so far.
Yeah, and Federer can't afford to have too many of these from many points of view. A, he's not going to win too many. And B, he's going to get Nadal grooved. Those long rallies, he thrives on that. He just gets his rhythm and timing going. And that's a real win-win there, that point for Nadal.
40 love. $40-15.
Federer now -10 in winners to unforced errors ratio. And he's been very much in positive territory in every single match that he's played so far. That was an outstanding return of serve by the champion.
Yep, and that's the return that I mentioned a few times. Djokovic plays so well against Nadal. He hits that backhand return down the line to the Nadal forehand, because Nadal has this habit of, when he serves from the first court, he serves down the center and then moves to his right to set up for a forehand. So if you hit to his right, sorry, if you hit to his left, that's when you get a reward, as did Federer then.
Game, Nadal.
It seemed this is the path that we were treading for most of the first set. In fact, all of it.
6 games all for sets.
No breaks of serve. It's a bit like last night. We talked about their respective career tiebreak records. Nadal's won 170 of 267, so very positive. Federer likewise has won 343 of 527. What may be more relevant is their 2014 record. Nadal is 5-2 and Federer is 1-2 in tie breaks this year.
Well, we're seeing how few opportunities Federer's now got in the latter stages of this set to attack, because Nadal is keeping much better length, and that's going to be the key to success for him in this match, Nadal. If he can keep Federer back, stop him from attacking, and he's going to have a much easier night, one would expect. There is the time between points. So, as we said from the very first point that he served, Jeff, Nadal's been pushing the envelope, and Jake Garner will be keeping a close eye on this. Yeah, he's perhaps needs to keep a closer eye on it. 27's getting up there. 7 seconds past the allowable.
And Federer right on the money, 20 seconds.
Nadal.
Get the feeling Federer is just starting to lose a little bit of confidence on that backhand. That last backhand, even though it just missed, wasn't struck with authority. It was a little half-hearted.
Three of the 4 points so far against the server. So advantage Rafa, who's got the mini break, back again. And
just lost his footing there.
He did. And that is very uncharacteristic. Normally so beautifully balanced. Stepping it up a notch here.
4-1 Nadal.
Federer not winning a point on serve so far in the tiebreak. All Rafa needs to do is hold these two, and the first set is effectively in the bag. It may very well be already. Growing signs of frustration with Federer now. It's etched all over his face. It's evident with his reaction after these shots that are either wide of the mark or hitting halfway up the net.
Nadal starting to push Federer around from the back of the court. It's been quite some time since Federer was able to make an aggressive foray to the front part of the court. And when he did, at one point in the tiebreak, you'll recall he just had a little stumble at the net on the volley. So this tiebreaker has been really emphatically in Nadal's favour. He's played much better his first 6 points.
Once more, Nadal taking a lot of time.
Gee, it was a good return. That was an excellent serve of Nadal, 184, right down the centre. Federer middled it perfectly. That was a must-win point for Federer.
The number one seed still with a mini break. Drop shot has worked effectively for him tonight. Every time he's drawn Nadal in, he's been able to put it away.
5-3 Nadal.
Bit surprised there that Nadal didn't rip this one at Federer. He got there with just enough time. He's got time to give it a bit of a... perhaps not. It was a little lower than I initially thought. So perhaps his options were limited. Not serving well enough, Federer.
That's a freebie.
5-4, Nadal.
If he can just engineer one more point against the Nadal serve, then he's back in business. But it is on the racket of the #1 seed.
Just the play he loves. Serve the ball wide, move to his right, and set up for the big off forehand. That's just the 1-2 play that he loves. It's a sort of play that the top players have in their arsenal, a two-shot winning strategy.
2 set points. It's been fractionally under an hour. It's been enthralling, and it usually is between these two. And the first set goes to Rafael Nadal in the tiebreak. Things are not going to change in set 2 by the look of it.
Not the 10.
It'll come on there from Roger as well.
There's the half-court ball landing on the service line that allows Federer to attack. This is about the time of the match that Federer would be saying to himself, well, I wish I had the backhand of my compatriot who's in the final here. So the Wawrinka backhand, one-handed that it is quite outstanding. And Federer still struggling with that high ball on that side.
Just looking through their 32 meetings, Federer has only dropped the first set and beaten Nadal twice. The last time it happened was in Hamburg in 2007. his defence is beyond comprehension sometimes, Nadal.
Yeah, it is. And
40-30.
Tony Nadal at the Australian Coaches Conference this year spoke of how he regularly gets on court and hits 100 balls in 25 lots at Nadal, from side to side to side to side. And that's exactly what we saw there. He's just full stretch, pushing hard. Everything is on the limit and he's making it. Very nice.
Yeah. No. 15 love.
And that is one of the few long rallies that Federer has managed to win. There have been 17 rallies that have gone 9 or more shots in this match so far. Nadal has won 12 of the 17.
It's impressive. He must have been 4 meters outside the singles alley there, Nadal.
So I've seen a couple of mishits here.
40-15.
Jeff, do you think this is as a consequence of what he's having to do with that racket hand?
I think the last one was more of a last-minute recognition that Federer was actually serving and volleying. Took his eye off the ball, Nadal, to notice that. I think that probably had a little more to do with that one.
Sometimes it can be your mortal enemy to tape on the top of the net. And that time for Roger, it seemed to get him going. And the crowd loved that.
He would have had his heart in his mouth here, Federer realising he was like a duck at a shooting gallery when the ball hit the tape and he came in, and there's Nadal standing half court with a forehand. It's like, where's my armour? Did well though, just sheer reactions in that one.
Sorry?
It's been most of the match.
Was he asking about time?
I'm not sure whether it was time. Just didn't get the first part of it, but it's unlike Roger to raise that sort of thing, anything with a chair umpire, about his opponent.
Yeah, he loves that shot. That's his best shot.
15 love.
And given time to set up for it, look out.
40 love.
And that plays part of what Federer has to do. He's got to take risks, and he's got to be very proactive on the Nadal second serve, especially from the first court.
Game, Nadal.
Nadal comes up with a love game, gets a bit of a breather.
Please. Love the tempo.
Well, he's reminiscent of the great Bjorn Borg as far as the quality of his passing shots. He's just outstanding when he has a target. He's just upping the ante a little bit here, Nadal. Again, keeping good depth and adding a little bit more speed to the ball.
It's only early stages, but Federer not landing a lot of first serves, and that's got Stefan Edberg and wife Merker a little concerned.
$15.30.
Once more, he gives Nadal the off-pace serve. And the reaction comes from Roger, as if to say, that's it, keep on mixing it up. Make sure he doesn't know what he's getting.
He's living dangerously, though, by missing too many first serves, Federer. He's down to 56% first serves in this set. And sometimes against Nadal, you try and over-serve, and he's lost his rhythm here by doing just that. Again, excellent leg from Nadal. Whenever he's vulnerable or not at his best, his ground strokes land short. And Federer has made it clear that if he does that, he's going to attack. Nadal has responded by really improving his depth. Doing a very good job in that regard, making life for Federer extremely difficult.
Yes.
That is 4 break points Federer's now been able to defend, but you can't keep on doing that sort of thing.
Too good.
He's just hanging in there at the moment, and that's about it. It seems like the dam wall could be about to break any moment, and the first crack might see more appear. A 5th opportunity coming up for the Spaniard. How many times can Federer keep on going to the well? and hoping to get out of it.
Next person.
Well, that's 5.
Deuce.
Nadal's return of serve landing on the service line. Yeah, there's a little smack on the head. What am I doing? No, that's never going to get the job done.
It doesn't look like it on the scoreboard, Jeff. It looks quite even on the scoreboard, but the feel of the match is that Federer is just hanging by a thread at the moment.
I think you said it quite perfectly before about the dam breaking, and it's cracking. And that's just an inevitable result, that approach shot. Life is so much easier when you get a first serve in, but again, he's at 53% only in this set, and that's certainly not going to allow him to control the points.
Taking another step for another rear guard action in this 4th game. He's now been down 6 break points. Nadal yet to convert.
Fantastic. It was so hard to know where to approach to Nadal. The ball's a bit low, so Federer can't get a lot of pace on the ball. And the minute he gives any width to Nadal, he's there and he uses that angle back at you.
4th deuce coming up here, and what is becoming a pivotal game.
Next person. Federer. Federer shown to the call on the right first set. The ball was gone.
And I think he's wasted one here. Maybe just to try and change the momentum a little bit. Oh, got it. 10 millimetres in. There's no confidence about Roger's challenge, but there never is. And what that means is that rear guard action has come off. 2 of the very greats in the audience tonight, Ken Rosewall and Rod Laver, watching on and watching one of the greatest just hanging in there.
Yeah, look at the Nadal serve direction. This is what he does every time he plays Federer. He goes to the backhand time and time and time again. It's that simple. He's quite happy to be repetitive. Let Federer know it. He figures if you're on a winning strategy, you know the rest.
30 love.
That is such an uncharacteristic number at this stage of a match for Federer. In the winners to unforced errors ratio, he is -13. Nadal is -4.
Oh, that's just incredible.
40 love.
Even Uncle Tony, who's seen it thousands of times before, could only just sit back and applaud that one.
It's just all upper body strength. You can see how open the stance was, not to get pushed out of position. So there's no opportunity to rotate the trunk at all. It's just forearm, wrist.
Yeah, Nadal. Love the team.
And while that's another unforced error, it's Nadal's speed and his ability to defend so aggressively that forces a player to go for so much. And that's when the errors come. Like that, there's 2 points.
Federer shown to the goal.
Federer's hit good shots. They've missed by millimetres, but he feels like he's got to hit the mat close to the line, or else Nadal's going to hurt him.
Love that. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
This is becoming familiar territory for Roger. Serve was very tight. But that low camera gave you a good view, even at 176 kilometres an hour, how much kick the ball had on it. Nadal taking it up at shoulder height.
That's phenomenal.
That is unbelievable.
Federer could not have played a better volley under the circumstances. Nadal's coming forward, puts on the brakes, the ball's behind him, and look at that for control. That's just sensational.
And it brings up 2 more break points. Surely we're getting into law of averages territory now.
Oh.
30-40.
Seven saved in total, 1 to come.
Got him.
Will they finally crack the wall? It's taken a long time. 1 hour and 34 minutes for the first break of serve. And you just get the sense that the second one and the third one mightn't be far away. Nadal has now penetrated Federer's defence, and he's got the taste for it.
15 love.
First one for the match. Uncle Tony says, how did that happen? He served 7 against Dimitrov in the quarterfinal, Rafa. And in his other 4 matches, he served a total of 3 double faults.
Nadal. 15 love.
As it turns out, holding serve was an easy task, but it might be too little too late in this second set.
Nadal leads 5 games to 3.
Nadal is getting this done with a lackluster first serve percentage in the second set as well. His first serve percentage just 58%. He's winning 82% of those points when they go in, though.
Look at the team.
That's a telling stat, and that's why we've suggested all along Federer needs to keep the points short if he's to have a chance.
Love 30.
Given what's been happening in the preceding 15 to 20 minutes or so, this would be almost unthinkable for Nadal. Gee, it's hard to win a point out there. Crowd just loving every minute of this.
You're dead right. It's hard to win a point when you're covering that much territory. You see at the end there, Federer just not stumbling a little bit, but he's showing, I think, the wear and tear. It's taking a lot out of him. Replying in kind, Federer takes it up a notch and increases the pace, and then he got some back with a little bit of mayonnaise on it.
30 all.
It's a sort of point Nadal plays so well when he's behind. Well, that finish put an exclamation mark on it, but he plays with so much more margin. He plays aggressively, but gives himself a lot of margin, so his chance of making a mistake is so slim. Federer finally said, I've had enough of this. I'm going to make you go for more. And he did. Nadal made a great screamer down the line at 15:30. It's just too good.
And as Jeff Masters pointed out earlier in the match, if the long rallies continue, Rafa will keep on getting better. There's those half chances, Jeff, that we were talking about before.
Yeah, he just digs in when he's behind Nadal, and from Federer's point of view, again, with such an ordinary year last year, the confidence is not there, and when the half chances come, it's got to be instinctive.
Set point for the #1 seed to take a stranglehold. 2 sets to love. Roger Federer has been able to do a lot of amazing things in his career, but he's going to have to come up with one of his greatest comebacks to get out of this one. Nadal in command, leads by 2 sets to love.
15 love.
He's got to come up with something special to win a point against Nadal that drop volley here from Federer is exceptionally good. You've got no idea how difficult that is because he's got Nadal running it at full speed. It needs to be weighted to perfection. And if anything's less than perfection, Nadal will make you pay. So it's no wonder playing against Nadal, players come up with more unforced errors than against anybody else.
Game. Federer. 15 love.
Of those 8 comebacks we were talking about from 2 sets to love down, 1 was against Rafael Nadal. It was in Miami in 2005 at a Masters Series match there.
All.
It's about as close as you're going to see to a show of temper from the great man.
Yeah, he's been really up for this match tonight, Federer. He feels like he's done all the work that he can. He really is desperate for a win. He's getting frustrated that it's not happening. It's not being allowed to happen.
Please. Forty-15. Go. Nadal. One game on.
Well, that was just a suicidal approach. Too much top spin and not enough penetration on this backhand. And it's just sitting there for Nadal to pick his spot.
Well, when you're having that sort of night, that sort of thing will happen to you. He is never one to give up, Roger Federer, but he's got a bit of the look of the beaten man about him at present. He's got the look of a man who's been striving for answers against the man at the other end of the court for many years now, and maybe he's starting to realise finally that he just doesn't have them. And it would not come as any great surprise if the end is merciful here. Nadal gets the early break in the third set and leads 2-1. And the person who would be hoping that it starts raining more than anyone would be Roger Federer at present, to just interrupt Nadal's momentum, Jeff.
Yeah, that would certainly be helpful. What a fantastic second serve. It's just a wicked left-handed delivery. Wide to the right-hander's backhand. It's almost unplayable. And again, remembering he's carrying this very large blister in his hand, which affects the serve more than anything else. So it's been a magnificent performance in every sense from Nadal.
Not even he could whip that one around.
15-30.
I'm just thinking, Jeff, I hope the popcorn's good for Stan Wawrinka tonight, because what he's seeing is going to have him a little concerned, you would think. But the popcorn might be okay. He said he was going to sit there, watch the match tonight. Enjoy that.
Missed it. And he's furious, Nadal.
So 2 break-back points. For the first time in the match, Federer has break points, and that is the only sign of sloppiness that we've seen from the Spaniard so far.
Thank you.
Last chance coming up here for Roger.
Federer is challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball was cut out.
It's a sort of return that Federer's certainly been trying to hit consistently tonight. The topspin return off the Nadal first serve, and it's certainly the way to go, and it's just long.
30-40.
Jake Garner indicated that with his very quick call of the score from the chair. Still a break point remaining, though, to give him some sort of glimmer of hope. People in the crowd who are standing at this. Roger's last stand, perhaps. He breaks back, and he's not going away just yet. All of the qualities that you expect from champions.
15 love.
Well, it is amazing the support. Well, it isn't amazing. It's understandable, I guess, the support that Federer has here. And it's that sort of support that may just lift him a little, because he certainly needs something to get him really up and into it. The man from the other end is giving him nothing. He's got to find something from somewhere. No, it's just fantastic, isn't it? All night long, it's been, I know I've mentioned it on several occasions, the depth that Nadal has been keeping has been really quite superb. That's been one of the most important features of his success so far. And the footwork there, just a little bit sloppy. When you've got to quickly change direction to hit that off forehand, the feet need to be moving really quickly. And that wasn't quite the case there.
And once again, now the Roger of old, look at that reaction. He knows that the Roger of old, once you break back, there's just no letting the opponent back in. And straight away it looks as though he's going to do it. And we're going to have 3 breaks of serve on the bounce. Tension in both support boxes, and there will be until Jake Garner says game, set, match. He's walked though.
It's long.
Yeah. Now he has to run back to the other side. 18 millimetres difference. Federer got his eye by making the quick charge off the slow serve down the tee at just 157. And he's not going to sit back and die wondering.
Advantage Federer.
The epitaph doesn't need to be written just yet. Down 2 break points. Federer finds a way.
15 love.
That's just footwork. Got a short ball and wasn't onto it quickly enough.
And Jeff, Hawkeye's been able to calculate the average ground stroke speed of the 2 players. Federer has more speed by 5 kilometres an hour, but that's deceiving because Nadal hits the ball with so much topspin generally that will lower his number.
Yep. Over 3,000 revolutions per minute coming off the racket of Nadal.
Nadal.
So it fizzes off the racket, goes high in the air, jumps off the
games
court, but it doesn't travel as fast through the air. But it's just that much more awkward to handle because it's jumping up at you. So.
And there's those revolutions you were talking about.
Yeah, it's just extraordinary, isn't it? Twice the revolutions of Federer.
It's 7 aces now for Roger. Nadal's only had the 3. A little apology, but Federer was very vulnerable there. You could almost see that happening before it actually did.
It was an example of the revolutions in the ball. It was a mishit, but when it landed, it was short, but it jumps up so fast that it's difficult to time. And Federer couldn't quite get it in the middle to get the pace that he wanted. We noticed earlier that Nadal is now holding the racket lower down the handle. In other words, his hand is extending past the butt of the handle, and that's to be able to get more racket work. That enables him to get more, when I say racket work, more wrist speed and therefore more racket speed.
Players, please do not call out as the point is getting ready to start. Thank you.
Which gives him even more revolutions on the ball, and he knows how effective the extra revolutions on the ball can become.
Mm. 34.
.46 unforced errors to 26 now.
Bad footwork.
And a little bit of bad luck as well with the touch on the tape, but he got himself into the wrong position. Nadal gets the break again, and he's 2 games away from the final. .136 was the serve, and it was back at him a bit quicker than that. He had a blowout with his shoes the other day with his shoelaces. That nearly burnt them off his shoes.
30 on.
We haven't seen a lot of it tonight, Jeff, but when you do see it, and how many times have we seen it over the years, it's still a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Indeed, he's the artist.
Once more,
40-30.
those 30 all points that Uncle Tony and the rest of the coaches keep a lot of stats on. Stefan Edberg would be well aware of them. Turning half chances into full chances is what the great players do, but Roger hasn't been able to do it enough tonight. There's a case in point. The frustration on one side of the net is contrasted to the determination at the other.
5 games to 3.
It's another indication as well, that last shot of Federer having to go for more than he really wants. Against 99 out of 100 other opponents, he would have hit the regulation volley there. Instead, he decided he needed to hit the drive volley because he's so worried, as is all of Nadal's opponents, that he's going to run it down and make you hit one more shot. So he just pushes you, Nadal, to go for more and more.
And the oohs and the ahs that have gone up from the crowd with some of the shots that Nadal has been able to play tonight. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Maybe not.
40-15.
That one is. That's on the line.
Oh, it's an absolute screamer if it's hit the line. Oh, it has.
Well, there were 2 balls in that rally that he had really no right to get back. And somehow he gets them back with enough purpose that it makes it difficult for his opponent.
And this passing shot is the advantage of the revolutions. That look how he drops the wrist, throws the racket, and you can see the hand there over the end of the handle of the racket. That's to give himself more whip, more racket head speed, more revolutions, which allows for more topspin and angle on the pass. add that to the new strings as well that give you more spin. It's a perfect combination.
It's been one of the greatest rivalries in any sport in recent years. Two of the greatest champions that we've ever seen. And what we're seeing tonight is one who is still very much at the peak of his powers, and one who has thrilled us for so many years, but his days appear to be numbered at the top. Oh, my goodness. He just keeps on raising it to another level, even bringing those who've seen it hundreds of times before to their feet. A fitting way to bring up a second match point and to set up a date with Stan Wawrinka in the final. On Sunday night, Rafael Nadal has a shot at joining Pete Sampras with 14 Grand Slam titles. The two great rivals meet. That is as comprehensive as Nadal has ever been over Federer.
To another Australian Open championship. From Spain, he is Rafael Nadal.